In this video, I will go over some of the first feature on the CATIA part design, and we use the extrude cut, extrude boss, and also we go over the multipath. So we go over all of the options that we have to create the object. So the extrude cut and extrude box is the fundamental of the creating an object. So this is the easiest and most used command to create the base, and after that you can start cutting and removing the material to get to the final shape that you have. Just go over how you can run the software for the first time. You can go to your in your taskbar, and you can go and run the 3DExperience. You are logged into your platform, and from your compass, you click on the compass, and from the compass you find the part design. You can search that, and you can put the part design, and show you all of the apps that is contain the part or the name that you search, and then you can move any apps that you like to your favorite, and you can just take it and push it in the to your favorite app. And then if you don't want that, you see that there's a recycle bin in the top. You just move this to the recycle bin, and you take it off from your apps. You click on your part design, and it open in this environment. So this is the for the first time you need to install the app. So there's almost 25 to 30 gigabytes software that you need to download from the internet, and then it install in your computer, and the next time that you run the app, it open in this environment. Again, you have the same compass here, and if you click on that, you have access to all of those apps that you have in your platform, so you can run them from here. And each time that you open a new app, it open in the new tabs here. So this platform or 3DExperience platform is like your Google Chrome, and you have a different tab. So you can click the add, and you have a new tab, and you can open different type of the software in the next tab and work on your project or your design. For example, you can open the assembly in one, then you can open the layout or the annotation in the next one, and work at the same time in all of them. So we just start working with these parts. And again, when you save your file, this is the for the save is in the top of your page. You can save your file here, and it's saved in your 3D space. So whatever that you save, it goes and save in your 3D space. So if I click on the 3D space, so everything that you do is saved inside this environment. And then this is some cloud inside the Dassault system software. If you want to save it in your computer or in your 3D drive, you need to share it. So when you share it, you have options to save it in your, either share it with the other person that they have access to the platform, or you can save it in your 3D drive. So this 3D drive will update in your computer, and you have a driver in your computer. So this is my driver, 3DExperience driver that I have here. Whatever that I save in my drive, it will update inside this folder. This is like the Google Chrome or the OneDrive that you have. And if I add anything in this folder in my computer, then it will update in my cloud, and then I can access it through the search. So for the start, let's change the name of this product. So I just go to the properties and change the name of this work that we are doing for today to the um, extrude, because the next time it make it easy for us to locate it with the search and open the file that we have. So I make it extrude one here. So this is the first one is my object. So this one is the whole object. Then I have a tree that each extrude, for example, each main object can have different bodies. So here for example, right now we have only one body, the part body, and everything that we created is part of the one first object that we have. So here, as I explained before, you have, instead of the front plane, right plane, or left plane, you have your direction as X, Y, and Z, as you can see in this robot here. So you have X, Y, and Z. So I select the X, Y, and we start creating to some object in this environment. So I select the X, Y, I put the go to the sketch, and then I select the some rectangle here. So this is my rectangle. Then I put the dimensions for one side as 200. Then for this one, I put the dimension as 100. The next thing is that you need to try to use the origin as your reference. So it's make it easy for you to navigate the any profile that you have. For example, if you get your homework and when you go through the sketch, you can easily find out where is the location of each profile and put it in your object here. For example, here I want to make sure that my origin sit down at the center of this rectangle. To do that, either I can put the dimensions from this line to my edge, that is my X axis, as 100, that is half of this, or I can just click on this line, keep the control down, click on this line, then keep the control down and select my edge. And then if I come here and select my constraint, I have all the options that I can define for this tree line. And here I want to define it as a symmetry. Click OK. Now I do the same, and you can notice that when I do that, the first thing is that you see some sign beside the lines, that these are the relation between these lines and my X axis. So for example, if I add another constraint here, that I say that the distance between this line and my so if I click this line and I say with this x-axis I want to have dimension of, instead of the 100 I want to 150, then it gave me error. So it can see that it's a red line. It means that I already have the relation, and also you can see that the line changed the colors, and I cannot add extra layer of the dimension or a constraint. So either I need to delete this edge, or that means that it's the symmetry, or I can just delete these numbers here. So I do the same for these two lines. I click on the lines and then click on the axis. You can see that here the software gives me some options here too, so I select the symmetry. Then let me put some circle here. Just let me come back here later. So here, let's say that this is my base, and I want to create the extrude. So then I can go out, and then I go to the model. So here, if I expand the line, one of the difference between the CATIA and the SolidWorks is that for the SolidWorks you do not have access to the detail of your profile. So here you can see that on a sketch I have still the detail about all of the constraints that I created and all of the nodes. So these options give you more flexibility to when you go to get to the advanced you get advanced working with the software. You can easily change these properties of these lines if you understand what's happening to your profile. So this is the flexibility that you can find in the CATIA, but you cannot find it in the other software, 3D CAD software. So I select the sketch, and then I go and select my extrude as a extrude boss as a pad. So here I get my pad. So for the pad, I have two options. One of them is that the full object. So for the pad, the first one, I get the material in all the area inside my borders. So I created a rectangle and I have material in all the areas. So if I put the preview, you can see that this is the object, or I can create it as a scene. So if I create it as a scene, then I have another options to define the thickness of my walls. So instead of having the full body inside my rectangle, I only have the scene wall. So here is a 20 millimeters, and as you can see that the first thing is that I extruded for 20 millimeters, and then the thickness, I can change the thickness, and you can see that it changed the location of the so now you can see that it created the walls, the thickness of the 10 millimeters for my object. So the next thing is that you have two other options. One of them is that you can define the second thickness. So right now it goes inward, so I have 10 millimeters inward, and I say that okay, I want to have for example 2 millimeters in outward. So the second thickness is my second limit, and it's going to another direction. So right now I put it to 0. And if you select a neutral fiber, then your 10 millimeters sit down 5 millimeters inside and 5 millimeters outside. So the profile that you created sit down at the middle of your thickness. So I just keep it in the inside right now. So that's the difference between if you selected the pad or you select the as a scene layer. So I just go back to the pad, and then I go to the next option. So the next option is that you can define the second limit for your extrude. So the second limit right now, the first one going upward, the other one, when I add the second one, it can go downward. So as you can see, when I created the second options, you can see I get the thickness in the other direction of my profile. So the profile sit down on the XY, and then on the Z direction, in one direction, then upward, I get 20 millimeter, in the other direction, 10 millimeter. Okay, so if I go back to the this object for the defining the extrude, we can see that the software automatically create the direction of the extrude normal to your plane. So when you select the plane and you put your profile, the software automatically create the extrude normal to your plane. You have other options that if you click on this three dot, and then you go to the wireframe and click on that. So you have some other options here that you can select, and one of them is that create line. So for example, if you want to have the extrude in the 45-degree angle from your XY plane, then you can create a line, and then you need to create a line that is perpendicular to your profile. So before I use this one, I create another sketch in the another plane that is perpendicular to my XY, and then I use that line as a guide for creating this new line. So I just put the cancel, and then I just delete this one, or either I can delete the my extrude, or I can deactivate that. So when I deactivate the extrude, then this pad becomes deactivated, but later I can use it. But if I delete this part, I cannot retrieve this pad later on in my design. So here I just delete this one because we just started to work with the software. So here when I click the delete, you can see that here software asked me to do I want to delete all of the aggregated element, and right now my path is related to the profile that I created, so I don't want to lose that profile. I just want to delete the path. So now you can see that my sketch. And now let me create the my guideline for the direction of the extrude in the one plane that is perpendicular to my profile. So I just create the line here. I just click in create, for example, let's say that this is the direction of my line, and then here you can see that when I created that, then I make it as a construction line. So now this sketch is not I can use it as a construction. So it doesn't display on the trying to show it in the use it inside the screen, but it is hidden, so it's not in the hidden section. So let me just go edit that one and make it as a line, because I don't know why it doesn't show when I go out. Okay, now I can find it. Okay, now it's good. So now I want to extrude this profile in the direction of this line. So I can go select my sketch, I select the path, and then here I click on the extended, I wireframe and create a line. And now I can easily, you can see that it gives you options. So you click on the first option, I click the first point, then it goes to the second point. This is my second point, and then easily you can define the type of the line that you want. You can make it as a unlimited or just limited to this point, and then I just leave it like that. I don't want to make it offset. Also, I assume that the line that I created before is exactly in the location and the direction that I want to create my profile. So now you can see that I have my extrude in the angle. So this is the option that you have here. You can change it. The next thing is that you can change the direction of your extrude. So right now on the original it goes upward, but you can change that with this arrow. Well, you can see that there's a white arrow here. If you click on that, it changes the direction of the extrude. The next thing is that here, if you click on these options, it put the 30 millimeters half in the top direction and half in the bottom direction. So then your profile sit down at the middle. So now you can see that the second limit is deactivated. So the software automatically created the 30 millimeter in both directions. If you may want to make the symmetry, so this is a symmetry option. Okay, so now you can see that you can easily, if I go to the view, you can see that you can easily create the object extrude in any direction that you like. Okay, so let me go back and create another object here. So I just go to this path. Let me change the path, make it only just make it normal. So the normal should be in the Z direction. So okay, now it's right. Okay, and I deactivate this line that I created. Okay, now let's say that I select the top face, I create a new the new sketch, and then I created a new profile. So let's say that this is my new profile that I created here. Okay, so let's say I have this type of the profile, and now let's say that I want to extrude this object. So I have my sketch, and then I go to the extrude. You can see that when I select the extrude, my profile is it just accept the area between these two circles. So here my only options to create the extrude or pad is this shape. So if I put the preview, you can see that even I have a two profile, I can only can have the control to extrude the area between these two circles. But let's say that you want this is your base, and you want to create the different height for each one of these circles. So this circle is one extrude, and the second circle that you have here, you want to have, for example, the 60 millimeter going up. To do that, to use the multi-pad with the same sketch, instead of creating each profile in one sketch and pad them, you can select the multi-pad. So to do that, you just expand this one, then you select the multi-pad, and here you can see that the software again, you can define the direction of each pad or each extrude, and then you can define the thickness. So for example, right now I put the number 1 as a 20 millimeter. So the first one is the middle one. So the middle one, let me make it 40 millimeter, and the second one make it 20 millimeter. Now you can see that I can pad or extrude each circle with the different value. Also, you can put the second limit that it goes in the other direction, but because it's inside my full body, it's automatically merged with my big box, and the second limit doesn't do anything here. So this is the multi-pad. So the multi-pad difference with the pad is, for the pad you can only extrude one profile or one shape, but with the multi-pad you can easily create the in one profile or one sketch you can put the multiple shape, and then you can extrude them with the different values. Okay, so let me deactivate this one again, and the next thing is that, let's say that you want to have your extrude with the angle. So you want to, instead of having the extrude in the straight direction, you want to have some kind of the draft in the side. So let me copy this profile that I created, and then I click on XY, and then I paste it here. So now I have so I need to make it active. So you can see that the sketch that I have here, I had for my previous multi-pad that I was creating at the top. Let's say that everything is the same, and I just want to have the same profiles and doing the different work with the same profiles. I can just copy this one, I just copy, and then I select the plane that I want to copy the this sketch, the new sketch, I select the plane and right click on the plane and just paste it on that plane. So now I get the same profile on the my XY plane. But the point is that let's say that I want to have this sketch in the top surface. So instead of in the XY, I want to move it to the in the top element or into my top plane and work on that. To do that, I just right click on the sketch. I go to the sketch object and then I select the active. So change the sketch support, and here you can see that it has XY plane, but I click on the top plane. So now if I click OK, my sketch 4 moved to the top plane. So that's the one way that you can move your sketch to the plane that you want, or you can create the auxiliary plane that I explain later on how to create the auxiliary plane. Okay, so now we have our object, and then we can go and select the draft field path. So in this one, your extrude, instead of being straight, it will be in the angle. So here you can see that in front of each one of them, you have the options to select or deselect the object. So right now I put it 15 degree because I want to show you in the with the some kind of the extreme, so it's easier for you to see it. And so I just need to invert the direction so it goes to the upward. And right now, because there's not enough material between these two parts and it's a start from the bottom part, so I select the neutral element. Right now is my bottom part. So if I go 15 degree, it meet the, because it's just only extrude the space between these two circles, it meet each other before it sit down to the other surface. So if I select the second limit, it still is big. So let me take off all of these and make it to the 5. See. So we have, the software cannot calculate the these edges. So let me go back here and edit this one. Let me delete this. Then now let me do the same, and okay, so first limit we have 30 millimeter, we have 50 degree. I deleted the wrong circles, so let me go back, because I just want to make sure we have enough material to make the extrude with the edge. So make it 15. Then second limit is that. Okay, so we have a 15 degree. Okay, so now if you see that, if I change the let me take off all of this fillet, and then you can see the straight line. So here you can see that this is my if I don't have any kind of the fillet or any kind of the draft, this is my profile, and instead of the going straight up, I have 15 degree inward the draft. So if I change the location of my neutral element, so right now this is my neutral element, so it goes 50 degree inside. If I change that, then my neutral is top and I get the 15 degree outward here. So this is the profile that I created, and this is the final product that I get here. The next thing is that the software gives you option to make the fillet some kind of the arc shape instead of this sharp edge and the end. You can make it like the with some radius. So if I select the, it should be the bottom radius. If I select this one, you can see that instead of that sharp end, I get some kind of the radius here. We go over this one for the fillet later in the separate class. So that's one. If you want to have the pad with the angle from the start or at the end. So for this, the difference between this pad here, you can see that I have one pad and then I have one draft. So the software created two separate commands for one commands that I used here. So two separate features on the tree for the one. If I selected any of the fillets that we had, then you get the different fillet properties on these three. The next thing is that for the extrude cut. So the extrude cut is the same as the pocket is the same as your extrude. The only difference is that you need to have a material to remove with the pocket. So just let me rotate this object and do the work in the bottom part, and then we go over the different options for the pocket. So I select the bottom shape, I create a new sketch, then I create a and also let's put the polygon inside the second one. Again, in the, you can see when I select any object, there's a one window tool palette that you can define exactly the end point, the start point. These two are your center, and then you can define the radius and all the information that you have for your circles or for any profile that you select. So that's another way that you can control and put all of the dimensions for your profiles. Okay, so let's say that this is my profile. I select the profile and then I go to the model. This time I select the pocket. Then again, let me put it as 20, and you can see that again here the pocket selected the area between these two extreme that I had. So I had one radius, one circle, and one hexagonal here. And then let me rotate this one so you can see that it goes inside, and I put a 20 millimeter. Again, if I select the symmetry, it goes 20 millimeter cut inside, 20 millimeter cut outside, and because there's nothing in the outside, it's like nothing happening in the other direction. So I just cut in part. Same story for second limit, because there's nothing in the another side of your xy plane. If I put any value here, I don't get any kind of the cut because there's no material here to remove from your object. But here, if I change the direction, it goes to the outward and inward. You can do that with the this white arrow here. So if you click on that, it goes to the different direction. If I click on this and move it, it changed the value of the lens here. The next thing is that if you look at the profile here, beside of that, there is one kind of the parenthesis. This one shows you in what direction you want to remove the material. Right now, it removes between these two circle and your hexagonal. If I change that, it removes the material in the other direction. So it's moved the material inside your hexagonal and outward from your. So if I click OK, this is the object that you get. So it's cut inside, and then it cut everything else from the outside of this circle. And if I change this one, so let me rotate this so you can see the difference. And now if I go to the pocket, define, and then change this one, now you can see that it just cut the area inside of these two objects. So this is the simple pocket. The next thing is that if you need any information or help, just click go to the put your mouse cursor on the command and click on the F1. The software goes to the help section. So I just need to log in to my. You log into your what is called your dashboard, and it takes you to the guide. So here it shows you all of the information that you need for example, for the extrude command. So here, let's go. Okay, let's have this one. I come back here. The next thing is that let me first copy this shape. So I just right click, copy, and paste it here, and the same explain, and I deactivate this one. Now I show you what is the difference between the simple pad and multi-pad. So select here. Now if I select this sketch and goes and select the multi-pocket, then as you can see, like the same features that you had for the pad, you can have the different value for each cut. Right now it goes to the other direction. I need to change the direction to make sure it goes inside. Then, for example, 20 millimeter inside. So now you can see that. Let me do it. So the big circles, 20 millimeters. Sorry, the hexagonal goes 20 millimeters. The other one, 10 millimeter. Okay. So now you can see that my object, you can easily define each profile how much they want to cut through your object. So if I go to the preview, and if I go to the preview and click on the dynamic section, it gives you the options to create the section. So right now if I click on the different plane, you can change the you can see here you can change the plane that you want to cut. Right now, because I put everything on from the origin, everything is symmetry, I get the symmetric cut from my for my object. And also you can see that there's a red arrow here. If I move that, so if I can get that arrow, let me zoom in. So this arrow W, you can see I can move the cut through that through this plane. So if I select the plane, and then I can move this one, and I change the location of my cut. right now just select this blue line. So the blue line that you can see with the direction, it shows the plane that you want to select to put the card plane. So you can see that I can move it. If it's the circle, you need to keep the control down, and then it select only the point. So if you keep the control down for the some surface that is not like the straight, then you need to keep the control down and select the point. So now you can see that it's only select the point that I move my mouse. So I'm moving the mouse here. If it's only the plane, you just select that. But if it's like this circle and you want to select one point, you keep the control down, and then the cut view shows that location, shows the put the cut plane in that point. So you can see here I create a multi-pocket with the different depths here, and that's the option that I couldn't have in the simple pocket commands. The story is the same here too, if you want to have an angle, or if you want to have, so let me go and let me delete this one. So if I want to have the pocket in the angle and with some fillet again, I need to select this drafted fillet pocket. The story is the same here too, and so first thing is that I need to change the direction of the cut because it goes inside, but it only create the cut between these two lines that I have, because this is the simple cut, it is not the multi-pocket cut. And then I have my degree, so let me say I have the 15 degree. I select my second limit, so this is my second limit in the top. And now let me first click all of these lines. So now you can see that I put the 15 degree, but it starts from my first limit. So the first limit is at the bottom of this 20 millimeter, and then you can see that I have 15 degree cut outward. So if I put OK here and show you on the cut view, then so here you can see that this is my end of my cut. I had the profile in the top, and then I have 15 degree outward here. So the second circle is bigger than the profile that I created, and also the second cut or the second draft is inward. So the dimension of this hexagonal in the top is smaller than the one that I created. So again, let me go to the so that's the one issue is here, that I cannot edit this one separately because the software created two different commands here. So I just redo that and I do it again to show you the difference when you select the different start point. So right now I change the location, the direction, I select the top part, and now instead of the first limit, I select the second limit. So if I put the preview here, let me show you the difference here. So if I put the review, so this is the profile that I created, and then this is the final product. So 15 degree outward here and 15 degree inward material removed from this object. So if I select the second limit, that is my top surface, so the neutral element sit down in the top and the 15 degree start from the top. So now I have a bigger cut inside. So here I have the 15 degree go inward and the 15 degree for this cut from this surface that go outward. So if I show you the cut again, now you can see that this is the my original profile, and then 15-degree goes inward, and here I have 15-degree going outward. So this profile here have the different value from the profile that I created at the beginning. Go to the model again. I redo the shape. I select this one again. First I need to go inside and select the 15-degree. Then I select the second limit. So if I put the preview, first limit, sorry. So now I have the cut. So in the manufacturing, this is the correct design, because when you make it in the mold or injection molding, this is the way that you have a positive angle and it can come off from your mold. But if you create, for example, let's say that this is your plastic, but if you have a negative values, then your product stuck inside your mold and you cannot take it out after you create the product inside the injection molding. Also, you can put the radius for make it instead of having a sharp end, you can make it with some kind of the fillet that we go over this fillet shape and how to create them later on in one of the classes. Okay. Go to the views and now let's say that you want to create one profile that is 45 degrees to this edge, and you have some profile that extrude parallel to this surface and goes inside. Let me just deactivate or let me hide this one. Okay, so hide. Okay. Usually if you want to create a profile in the 45 degrees, it's very difficult to work with only the main plane that you have, because all of them are perpendicular to each other, and it is a little extra work to create the object that is 45 degrees between them. But you can create the auxiliary plane and put your object on the auxiliary plane, or for example, if you want to have a revolve, you can use the auxiliary axis or lines to have as some guideline for your revolve or any other command. To create the auxiliary plane, you just go to the new model, and then you expand this option and select the plane. To create the auxiliary plane, you have different options. So as you can see here, you can create it with the offset from the plane. So if you select the one plane here, and it gives you the offset, you can see that there's a 20 millimeter offset here, and this is the 20 millimeter higher from your object. And so this one is parallel to the face that you select here. You can create them your plane with the for example one angle and one surface, or 3 point that they are not at the same line, or two different line, or different options that you have here. So we select the angle and plane, so we select this surface, and then I want to create the plane 45 degrees from this line. So this is my rotation line, so you can click on that, then I make it 45 here. Now if I show you the preview, I have, you can see that I have 45-degree plane in this location. Okay, so now I have a new plane. So if I go down on my tree, I have a new plane that I can select, and I put my profile on that. So let's say that I go to that plane. Okay, and I create a slot shape and this plane. So I put some space here, and then I come back and talk a little about how to adjust this. So let's say that this is my profile, and then I want to extrude this and create some kind of the handle for this object. So here I go to the model, and then I select the simple pocket. Then I select, I want to make it as a scene, and I put the amount of 40. I change the direction of that, and I make it the thickness of, for example, 5 millimeter. Okay, so if I rotate this one, you can see that this is, let's say that this is the object that I want to create. But here you can notice that it extrude normal to the 45-degree that I created. But my goal was to have this shape extrude in the direction of my plane here. So I want to be my bottom of my object parallel to this face. So to do that, I just come here, go intervene, and then create the line. Then I can select the point. So I select this line. Let me create the line and make it smaller. 1 point here, second point here. Okay, now you can see that my object changed the shape. Line pad 4, line 2. There's some issue with my line, so I think there's something wrong with my this point 2, that is maybe it's not at the same. Let me change this one. Delete. Okay, so let me create another line that is the one problem is that the line that I selected here, it is not in contact with my profile. So let me contact the profile to my edge, and then try it again to see we can create the object or not. So I just come here, select my circle, keep the control down, I click my edge, and then I come here and select constraint, and I select the tangency. So now you can see that it's in contact. So let's try the pad again and see creating this 2 point for the line help us for the extrude or not. So I select the extrude, other direction, 40 millimeter, make it thin, and make it 5 millimeter. The next thing is that I want to go it through these lines, so angle normal to curve. Let me select the point and direction. So this is my point. Let me click on this point, and this is my direction. Change the direction inward. Pad form. There is some issue with this line. So instead of the line, let me select to the Y direction. So this is my Y direction. I just come here and Y direction. Okay, now it's working. So now I have my object 45 degrees. So my profile is 45 degree compared to this surface, and I have my extrude through the object that I want to have. So that's one of the features that you can use for the auxiliary plane, and also you can use the auxiliary line or axis to create some guideline or the axis if you want to create the revolve. So these are the two objects that you can use. Okay, this is the line 2 that gave us the error. So let's go to the edit. So I want to find out what is the issue with this one. So we have 1 point and 1 direction, no support to line end. So we have offset for the line end, so it's a 20 millimeter line and no offset. Okay, now it doesn't give any kind of the error. It gave us error when I put it on the pad, but now it creates the pad without any kind of the issue. Okay, so these are the main objective for the this class. You create the pad, extrude, and then you can remove the object with the cut or the pocket, and then you have options to create the pad and cut pocket with the angle. And also if you have a multiple object, you can pad them in the with multipad with the different values. So it gives you the options to create the your product with only one profile that you created with the different profiles in that. Okay, the only thing is that I forgot to mention here, to create using the pad or extrude cut, you need to have a closed profile. So the software gives you error if you have an open profile and trying to extrude that. If you do that, let's say that here I create some kind of the, let's say that this is my object. So okay, so let's say that this is my profile, and then I go here and select my sketch, and then I select the pad. You can see that the software gives me the problem because it is not closed profile, and the software automatically it creates this thickness for you. So when you when the software wants to create the object, it will be with the thickness. So you just click the thin layer, you put the dimension of the thickness and the value that you want to have extrude. So just be mindful that if you want to create, if you have an open profile, you can only select for the wall or thickness. The next thing is that when you have when you create the profile, so let me go and open the help file. You have instead of defining the amount of the, let me go back to one of these paths, so because I want to show you without some kind of the error. So here you can see that I defined the limit for our extrude as a number. So I said that I want to have let me rotate that here so you can see here. Okay, so I said that okay, I want to have in the dimension, I want to be 30 millimeter, but you have other options to create your a limit here. So you can select the up to next, and in these options if you have another value or another object here in the top or the bottom part, your extrude goes to meet the surface of that object. So if I go to the help section and let me go to the path, and I show you with the more detail, it makes it easier for you to understand. Okay, so here for the first one that you put the dimension, so you say that how much you want to have the extrude in the direction that you selected. The next one is up to next. So for the up to next, if you have another object and this is your profile, the extrude goes to meet the surface of that object. If you select the up to last and you have multiple objects, it goes past through the different object until it touch the last object that you have or last surface that you have here. And also if you select the up to surface, then this extrude goes to touch the surface that you create or you have already in your part. So these are the different options that you can select here and create your part. One good part for or one of the benefit of the pad is that if you have multiple objects and it's easily merge all of the objects into each other. So for example, if this pad goes inside my profile or inside my object or body that I have here, it merge all of them together, then there's no interfere between my block here and this extrude that I created here. So if I go to the cut and show you so here you can see that everything is considered one object here. All of the objects that I have here, all of them are connected and merged together. So all of these commands that I used to create this object, now I have the one full body that is contain these different shapes. The last thing that I want to mention here is the color of your working space. If you like to change the the color, you can go to the ambient and change the colors. So the basic is that this is something you can find in the CATIA version 5 in the blue, shaded blue in the back. So this is the working environment for the CATIA version 5 if you used to use the software before, and if you prefer other type of the background, you can easily change those.